Good morning, everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you about how the narcissist has to destroy all of your strengths to get in control of you. It's one of the major ways that the narcissist takes over control after they, or as they're getting control of you through trust and then getting control of your emotional field, right? So they put you on the pedestal as an idol, and then they idolize you, and then they drop you down, right, as far. So they bring you to the highest point you ever been, and then they drop you down to the lowest point you ever been. And with all of the hot and cold, and then the breadcrumbing and the gaslighting, it takes you to somewhat back into some of these childhood wounds that you might have had, as far as like not getting validation is where you'll get the nonchalant kind of attitude. And so that's how you need to treat the narcissist anyway, is with a nonchalant kind of attitude, almost like they just don't matter to you anymore. And you used to, like, as whenever they said jump, you would ask how high, right? So now you just kind of treat them with indifference. And when that's what the narcissist has always done to you, and probably goes back to some of your caregivers when you were being brought up. But anyway, they have to destroy and make fun of and degrade every one of your major strengths and gifts. And so that's what they come to do. And this is kind of like the finalizing of them getting control over you. So, you know, the emotional field, yes. The trust, yes. The breadcrumbing, the indifference, yes. And then right along with that, and these are all kind of like at the same time sometimes, and even if they're not, they're gonna be like slow. The narcissist is insidious, so it's kind of like you don't just, you know, notice these things right away. It's just little bits and pieces, and that's the problem with the narcissist, and that's why it's hard to connect exactly what they are doing, because they hit you in all different areas, and it's little bits and pieces at a time, you know? So it's kind of like that. But the narcissist will operate this way insidiously, and it's a way to chip away at you. What it is they'll find your strengths and things that make you happy, things that make you authentic. Like, if, for instance, if you go to the gym, like I go to the gym, my girl would always say stuff like, well, I don't like people that are real fit, and I don't like people that go to the gym, you know, typically. And that's what I got. Or she didn't like a guy with tattoos, right? And like, I have tattoos, and then I would continue to get more. And so she would say stuff like that, and she would say things that were related to, you know, kind of the authenticism, or things that brought me happiness, or things that made up who I was. You know, those are just a couple of small things, okay? And then they just continue to chip away at things that you're good at. It could be things with your personality, but things that you like to do. It could be hobbies and just gifts that you have. So what happens is, first they come in, and they come in because they've idolized you, meaning they made you an idol. Do you understand how powerful you are? Because you're looked at as an idol to them, and it's not right. Nobody should do that, right? God should be first, but this is what they do. The narcissist will treat you like an idol in the very beginning, because they love your gifts, and they've watched you move and maneuver and operate around people, and you do it with such grace, and people love your personality sometimes, and things that you do and things about you. And a lot of times we're so humble, and they will tell you in the very beginning, this is the thing, if you really listen in the very beginning, they will tell you how much they do admire you. They will tell you. And this is where there's telltale signs. But, you know, in the beginning, you're blind, and, you know, you might be hearing a bunch of good things in the very beginning. So it's kind of like you don't think about the individual things. And then after the fact, there's so much gaslighting, lying, cheating, stealing, all kind of crap like that, that you forget all about those things. And I think part of the spell is for you to forget about some of those things. So it's just stuff, but you can't forget about them because your intuition brings them back. And that's the glory in this, or the grace in this. So if it was up to them, they wouldn't want you to remember those things. But it's kind of like they have to tell the truth. And just like anything, God makes them tell the truth. Well, they have to tell you the truth about you. I mean, and it's the truth because it's the truth. Okay? It's fact. The fact of the matter is they will tell you that, like for me, she would tell me that she liked the way I was, and if I only knew who I was and what I could do with who I am, that I could do amazing things, and I'm sure you guys have been told this too, because I've heard other people say the same thing. And then she would say, and that, like she liked my looks, and she would say something like that I was humble about it. And that was like the thing that she loved so much is, and so I'm not trying to give myself any kind of, but we got to learn to love ourselves too. So that's what I'm trying to do too, is trying to accept, the good things about me, and you should too, because a lot of times we degrade or we don't give ourselves enough credit. And I always say, like, your body is like it's a world. This world out here is living, right? There's trees, there's all kind of things. There's animals, there's insects, there's parasites, everything, right? But even on your body, if you were to take it from a microscopic anatomical level, man, it's a world that makes up you. That's how awesome God is. That even his creation is like a world. I mean, I'm saying there's so many things that are living that make up who you are. And if you don't speak good things to your cells, this is my opinion, if you don't speak life to your cells and you're always downgrading them and downgrading you, then you're downgrading this whole world that makes up you. You know what I'm saying? It's all living. Like, how many living cells make up your eyeball? How many living cells make up your heart? How many living cells are floating around in your blood? I'm saying, like, so that's why I have been convinced that I need to be better about, having, gratitude and love of myself, right? So if nothing else, because I want my life, my body that makes up me to be healthy. And if I don't speak good to it, don't love it, then I won't be healthy. And so anyway, not to get off track, but they find all these great gifts in you, and that's why they come to you. They come to you for your gifts and for your personality and all these traits, right? But then what happens is see, they're faking. Remember, I said the other day, like 2 days ago, I said that when they come to you, they have to fake a whole lot to get a grade A source of supply or a primary source of supply. But they don't have to work very hard to get somebody that's of the streets and of the night, right? And that's typically who they hang out with, because they feel comfortable with them more, because they don't have to do much. They don't have to really wear too much of a mask, because they're just as crappy as they are. And so when they come to you, you have ethics, and you hold them to their ethics. So they have to fake it. But they think that one of two things: either you're faking and they're going to be able to stay with you long enough to where they realize that you're faking, or they're going to think that they can use your traits for themselves, and they can, but they think that they can learn how to, like, generate them is the idea. And that's what they can't do. So what happens is they realize that they cannot learn them to generate them for themselves. So then they start, it takes so much energy for them to fake it around you that they have to, it's just natural for them to start to pull you down to their level, which is the narc vibration. So they just naturally do a lot of this stuff. At some point, yes, they're evil, and yes, they know what they're doing, but at some point, you can, drive a car unconsciously at some point to some degree, and that's kind of how they are. It's just like they're in a mode after a while. It's an evil mode, and it's, kind of like what we call empty soulless portals or whatever. I mean, that's kind of how you get when you're like that. But even if you're a good individual, you can kind of get to a point to where you're in a weird way, you're just going through the motions. So you got to be careful of that, because you want to be all the time, kind of in reality. And sometimes zoning out's not good, I think, because things can creep in. But anyway, so they find you, they come to you, they realize that it takes a lot of fuel to act like, putting this fake mask on all the time. And, always having to correct it, and us keeping them to their ethics. So then they're always having to lie about everything. And then they can't do it forever. It takes a lot of fuel. So then they have to pull you down. So they have to start breaking you down. And breaking you down, one of the major ways that they break you down is by breaking down all of your strengths, things that make you authentic of who you are and what bring you happiness, which would mean like things that you enjoy doing, which would be like if you like going to the gym or something like that, or if you're going for a certain goals in life, you have a vision, right? So if you want to be to a certain kind of fit level, or if you're trying to do anything, and they'll start to pull you down to a point to where once they get you out of your authenticism of who you are, right? Because they feel like, well, if they can't like learn how to generate those traits, and you're not gonna end up being to a level to where you're fake and they can see it, and then they can just act whatever, then they have to find a way to steal those traits so they can wear them and pull you down to their level, and also break you down so that you're at a lower level to them because they're jealous. And so that's kind of what they do. But if you were continually doing what makes you happy, then they wouldn't be able to pull you down to that level. To pull you down to that level, they have to break down everything good in your life that is a strength. And so it's going to be your traits, your personality, how you do things, and what makes you authentic of who you are. And so a lot of times that's what the narcissist will do, and that will be, at that point, you're kind of fully hijacked after that, because now you're gonna be, instead of focusing on yourself and your gifts and using them the way you enjoyed using them, you're starting to focus now on them. Because what they do is they keep telling you how, I don't like that about you, and I don't like this about you, right? And those are your gifts, and that's what they're targeting. They're targeting who you are, or what you do, and what you like to do, and what brings you happiness, and what people love in you, okay? What makes your light shine. So they have to break that stuff down. And when they break that stuff down, then you're able to be pulled down to such a level to where now you're at a narc vibration. Now, for them to coexist with you, they pull you down to their level, and then not only can they overpower you, but they're living better than you, and they're thriving now, because now they're riding on top of you, and now they can step on you, and you're running after them to do whatever you can to fix it, because now you're in love with them, or you're in the trauma bond. You think you're in love. And so this is what they do. But honestly, they targeted you because you were so awesome. And then they got to wear your traits, and they go out and get new supply with all of your gifts. But they don't want you to know. They're doing it on a covert level, right? Switching that energy up by causing reactive abuse. Okay? And so tell me something. If you were so shitty, and if you were not an amazing, awesome individual, why would somebody who is looking for the best person that they can find so they can copy them and get everything they need out of life on a daily basis, why would they come to you if you were shitty? It's not that you're shitty. It's like you're freaking amazing. And that's what they don't ever want you to know. They know the diamond They know the diamond, and they know the diamond in the rough. Listen, I say the diamond in the rough because you don't know who you are, but you're shining out there, y'all. And a lot of times you got to understand, in this world, the world does not promote on a regular basis people that shine bright. They promote the opposite, a lot of times. The problem is we're very authentic, and no matter what, God, because of your ability to shine and your love for him, he shows you the way so that you're going to shine regardless. You're going to shine regardless. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, the world system does not promote goodness, but you're still shining. And for all those evil people out there, they will fight over you, but you don't want them. That's why we have narcissistic channels, to go over these red flags and things so that you can avoid them. I'm sorry for my rant the other day. I just had a rough day, but sometimes we all have them, right? I don't hate the narcissist. Sometimes I hate the narcissist though, because they just have dragged you through so much shit, man. And it's like sometimes, like, some things come back into your head, and some, like, attacks come at you, and it's kind of you gotta just act like, you gotta give them nothing, almost as if they're dead to you. But if we could help the narcissist, I'd be all about it, really. But I'm on a continual search, though. I am on a continual search. So if I hated them so much, I wouldn't be on a continual search to help them. I've been working on looking into, like, deliverance and all of that, and I'm on to a new book that I'm reading in regards to that will be coming in today. I will start reading it today. So, and this guy claims to have delivered these types of individuals. So I want to read up on it and see where it takes me. But I will keep you all updated. And for all the TikTok people, and I am on YouTube, and I want you all to go to YouTube and subscribe to Soldier Up Productions, and for everybody on YouTube, go to TikTok if you have a TikTok account, and same thing, Soldier Up Productions, both ways. I want y'all to like, subscribe, and give me give the channel love, trying to grow the channel. So love y'all. I hope that helps somebody out there, but I started this channel really to help people understand and be aware of what is really and truly going on, because I was used for so long, and it's really frustrating. It's frustrating how many years you can spend, and I know that you guys can feel me on that, because this is something that these individuals take you for everything, man. And if you've been down this road like twice to, like, 2 of these or 3 of these, it's just like ridiculous, man. And then your family or whatever, it's like, I even hate to bring this stuff up, because it sucks, man. It's like, to look at people that you thought cared about you in your life, all throughout your life, as kind of being the enemy. And it's like, it's hard even to speak on it, because it's the real world, man. But Christ talked about this, it's like, they're going to be everywhere. They're going to even be the closest ones, the ones in your family. And that's why I think he mentioned that, you can't, if you don't love me more than your family, and you can't lead them for me if you have to, then, you're not going to be the one for me, And sometimes that's what it is. It is what it is. But it's all out of righteousness and goodness, man, if you have to do that, because you can't be with evil. Evil and goodness cannot be together, and light and darkness cannot reside together. It's an unequally yoked situation that will never be fixed, and evil will always win if you're in it, and you're not trying to get away from it, you know, because God don't want you there. So he will let you get bit once you awake to it, at least, and you know what you're doing and what's going on. So anyway, I don't want to rant or say too much on that, but I just wanted you to know that that's what the narcissist does. They come to destroy every good gift in your life so that then they can continue to hijack you. And once they pull you down low enough, they just continue to beat on your self-esteem until you will lose it forever if you stay with them too long, and your faith and your hope will be gone, man. It's very hard to come back from some of these if you continue down that road forever and ever and ever when you don't need to. That's my point. You want to get out as quick as possible. You want to learn the lesson and leave. I love y'all. Peace. Until next time, soldier up. Peace. We out.